Hello students, welcome to the lecture. So as we know that we have started the static part of medieval history and we have completed the Delhi Sultanate. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the society part of the medieval history. Okay, so let's start. So basically, in the medieval time, there was a complex society structure for a while because what was happening that before the Arabian invasions, before the Arabian invasions, there was people primarily of native origins. You means there were the people of Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and other religions which were and other religions which were of native origin. Okay, but with the Arabian invasion, Islam or Muslim religion was introduced in India. Okay, so before them we had different society structures. Like in Hinduism, we know that there was a caste system. In Buddhism, there was another principle. Jainism, there were another principles, and similar things with the another religion. But when the Islam introduced in India with the Muslim and the foreign invasions, then what was happening? The society went under continuous change. Okay, and that things are important from examination point of view, that how the society is evolved. Got it? So basically, social structure, if we talk about it, then first is caste system. The caste system of the Indian society mainly as Brahmins, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras. Okay. So the caste system of India was as it is carried on. Got it? So you can say the caste system continued to be a defining feature of Indian society during the medieval period. It categorized people into hierarchical groups based on the occupation, birth, and social roles. The four primary varnas known as Brahmins, priests and scholars, Kshatriya, warriors, and Vaishya, merchants and farmers, and Shudra, who were the laborers and servants, were carried on forward. Okay, and below the caste system were the untouchables or Dalit, basically. Okay, now there is one point which I would like to add here, and we will also do a small revision in it. Remember, when I was teaching you about the Vedic period, then I had told you about early Vedic era, and later Vedic era. Okay, so I just wanted to check you. Are you still able to tell me what was the basic and the most significant, I will say, the difference between the later and the early Vedic period? Are you able? Then I am giving you 15 seconds. Just think about it and then I will tell the answer. Just match the answer with your thought. Okay, so time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Time's up now. So I think that you have thought the correct answer. Let me tell you, it was the division of Varnas on birth basis. On birth basis. Got it? That was the basic difference between the early Vedic era and the later Vedic era. Okay, so congratulations to those who have got the right answer and those who couldn't. So let's revise it so that you will be able to grasp the correct answers next time. Okay, so basically We had 4 Vedas in Vedic era, starting with Rig Ved, then Yajurved, then Samved, then Atharveda. Remember? So basically, we have to talk about Rig Veda in this particular prospect. Okay. So Rig Veda having 10 chapters known as mandals. Okay. Known as mandals. Okay. And you can say the 10th chapter or the last chapter, which is also known as Proshukta, is the latest added chapter. Okay, so the last one and the 10th chapter, also known as Purushokta, is the latest added chapter. Okay, and the Purushokta basically defined four Varnas. Okay, as Brahmans, who were the prized and scholars. Okay, then Kshatriyas, who were the warriors and rulers. Okay, thereafter, the Vaishyas, who were the merchants and farmers. And the last one is our Shudras, who are laborers and servants. Okay, so this was the word system which we had in the Purushokta, which was a 10th chapter of Rig Veda. Got it? So basically, in the early Vedic part, the Purushokta, or you can say the Varnas, the Purushokta and the Varnas are basically of work basis. Okay, so in the early Vedic era, it was the concept that you are belong to the particular one if you are doing the work assigned to that one. Okay, just suppose there are family of 4 members. One is a scholar, that was really a Brahman. First, second one is a artisan, then he will be the Shudra. Third one is a trader, then this one will be a Vaishyas. The fourth one is the administrator, then this will be known as Kshatriya. So what you have seen, even in the same family, because based on the occupation they are working in, they could be belong to different Varnas as per the early Vedic era. But what happened when the later Vedic era came into existence, then this was based on birth basis. Okay, and even continued till today. Okay, like if the father is Brahman, the child will be Brahman. If the father is Kshatriya, the child will be Kshatriya. If the father is Vaishya, the child will be Vaishya. If the father is Shudra, the child will be a Shudra. Okay, that was the concept in the later Vedic period. Okay, but what about the untouchables and Dalits? Okay, what about the untouchables and the Dalits? Are they also belong to Vedic era? The answer is think. The answer is thinking the answer. I'm giving you 10 seconds, then I will tell you the answer. So the time starts now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time's up. So the answer is no. The origin of untouchables or Dalits do not belong to the Vedic era. Okay, this was not the part of Vedic era. This was evolved during, we could say, this was evolved during the Gupta period. Okay, so you can say during the Gupta rule, in the ancient time, the concept of untouchables and Dalits raised. Okay, the few people were kept under the category of untouchables or Dalits and they are considered as untouchables. They are not allowed to live inside village. Okay. Second, they are not allowed to marry upper caste. Third, they were not allowed to receive education. Fourth, they were not allowed to use village public resources. Okay, so there were several restrictions on these people. First, they are not allowed to live inside the village. They are forced to live outside the village. Second point, they are not allowed to marry any upper caste person. Okay. Third point, they're not allowed to receive education. Okay. And the fourth one is that they are not allowed to use village public resources, or you can say the resources which are applicable for public uses. Okay. So the concept of untouchables were also continued during the medieval time period. Got it? Now let's look at the second point. The second point is for the jatis. Okay. So within the Varna system, there were numerous jatis or subcaste, each associated within specific occupation and social rules. Jatis were localized and diverse, often forming the basis of social identity. So basically what was happening on that time, that if you look at the Varna, then Varna is a broad category. Varna is a broad category, but Jati is a very localized and social identical phenomena. Got it? Basically what was happening, let me show you so that you will be understand better. Okay, like just suppose this is the flow chart, starting with Brahmans B, Kshatriya K, Vaishyas V, Shudras S. Okay, and untouchables U. So these were the Varnas. Okay, these are the broad topics, but inside them there were several surnames and jatis. Okay, just take an example. For Brahmins, various surnames you use today like Mishra, Sharma, Pandey. Okay, similarly for Kshatriya like Jat, Rajput and Thakurs. Okay, similar for the Vaishyas like Gupta, Garg, Agarwal. Similar for Shudras like Saigas, like Sagar and Gautam, surnames we generally use today. Okay, and for untouchables like Balmiki, okay, and Mahajans. So these were the surnames, okay, which were particularly used to define the various peoples which are divided under the Varnas. Okay, and these surnames and this Jati category is basically based on the localized area, based on the localized area. For example, let me tell you a simple example so that you will be understand it better. Okay, we will take the part of Kshatriya. We will take the part of Kshatriyas. Okay, for North, the Kshatriyas are basically the Rajput, the Jats, the Thakur, okay, and so on. Got it? These are the Kshatriyas in the north side. Similarly, in the south, the Kshatriyas are basically the Marathas, okay, uh, the Tamil Babus, and etc. Got it? So, because of their localized reasons, the jatis were organized in which the people are organized as per their specific occupation and social roles so that they could be attached to the jati of a particular varna. Okay, and these jatis were localized and diverse, forming the basis of social identity. I hope you have understood it better. Now, let's move forward. Thereafter, there is a religious diversity. Okay, so first thing is that India was a land of religious diversity during this period. Hinduism remained the dominant religion, but Buddhism, Jainism, Islam, and Sikhism also played a significant roles. Interaction between these religions influenced the cultural landscape. Got it? So basically, because of the introduction of various religions during the medieval time, because many foreigners were coming to India, trade was growing on, the ideas, the exchange of ideas, money and culture were at peak on that time. Due to this, there was a religious diversity. Okay, now let's understand this diversity in depth. First is role of religion. Okay, so the first is Hinduism. Hinduism underwent changes and development during the medieval period. Bhakti, devotional and Sufi Islamic mysticism movements emerged, emphasizing direct devotion to a deity or god and transcending ritualistic practices. So basically, what was happening on that time exactly? The people were exchanging ideas, beliefs, and all. Okay, due to this, the peoples are getting rational thinking. People are getting rational thinking, and when they start getting rational thinking, they start direct devotion to a deity or god and transcending ritualistic practices. So basically, there was a system before this in every religion like Islam and Hinduism. If these are the peoples, and there is a god, so there must be some person who will transfer these people's will to the god, and these people's basically regarding as Maulvi or Panditji or priest. Maulvi and Panditji or priest, you can say. Okay, so there was a concept that the people will be transferred to the god by the Maulvi or the Pandit. Okay, but during the Bhakti movements and Sufi movements, these mediators were removed, and it is believed that the people could directly connect themselves with the god. So this system was also emerged during the medieval part. Got it? Which emphasizes the direct devotion to a deity. Got it? Second point was transcending ritualistic practices. Basically, what was happening of that time, that you have to perform like it was believing that you have to perform several rituals to show devotion to God. Okay, So there was a concept that you have to perform several rituals to show your devotion to the god, that yes, you are believing in god. Okay, and even if you're asking for something from god, like, oh god, please, I will get a car, I will get a home, I will get a good children, wife and husband, whatever you are wishing for, so you are required to perform several rituals. If you are able to perform those rituals, then only you will be able to get the things from the god. So this was the concept also. So that concept was also challenged during the bhakti movements and the Sufi movements. It is believed that there is no need to perform man-made rituals. Okay, so it was a new concept which were evolving during this time, that there is no need to perform man-made rituals which are made by people, not God directly. Okay, so this was about the Hinduism. Now let's move forward. What about the Buddhism and Jainism? While Buddhism declined in India, it continued to thrive in other parts of Asia. Basically, what was happening? The Buddhism gained popularity in India because of the Prakrit language. Okay, and equality. Because in Hinduism there was a system of upper caste, lower caste, middle caste. In Buddhism there was a concept of equality. Even the Hindu religion was in the Sanskrit, which was not the language of people. Okay, but in Buddhism, there was a use of Prakrit language instead of the Sanskrit language. Got it? So that's why people were able to connect themselves with the teachings of religion. This made Buddhism popular in India in the initial time. But later on, two factors. First was give up of Prakrit language. Second was divisions of Buddhism. Due to these two prime reasons, the Buddhism lost its popularity. First, they gave up Prakrit language. Okay, second, there was a division within the Buddhism known as Mahayana and Hinayana. Okay, because of this division, the Buddhism lost its popularity, but somehow it managed to grow in the outer countries like Singapore, like China, like Thailand, and other nearby countries. Okay. Similarly, in Jainism, where its principle of non-violence and assistance also had a significant following. Got it? Now let's move forward. Now about the Islam. The arrival of Islam in India, primarily through the Delhi Sultanate, introduced new religious and cultural elements. Sufism, with its focus on spirituality and tolerance, played a vital role in bridging the gap between different religious communities. So basically what was happening, if there was a person in the medieval India and he had to choose the religion, then he had only some religions like Hindu, like Buddhism and like Jainism. But due to the introduction of Islam in the medieval part, he also got an option to join Islam. Okay. And when Islam was introduced in India, there were strict rules regarding Islam. Okay, that you had to do this, you had to do this, you had to show your loyalty to the king, to the kingdom, and to the god by this and that. But all these things were get removed by the Sufism. So you can say the Sufism promote harmony in Islam. Okay, so Sufism promoting the harmony in Islam. Got it? Thereafter, Sikhism. The Sikhism was founded by Guru Govind Sahib. Okay, and Sikhism basically emerged in the region of Punjab as a synthesis of Hindu and Islam, promoting monotheism and social equality. Monotheism basically means believe in one God. The God is one. That was the main principle of monotheism. Okay. There were total 10 Sikh gurus. Okay. And they built Golden Temple in Amritsar, which is now the central point for Sikh religious and cultural identity. Okay. So students, in this lecture, we had finished the medieval part. In the next lecture, we will cover the Mughal era, which is also the part of medieval history, but different part. In this lecture, we had covered about the society. In the previous lecture, we had covered about the Delhi Sultanate, but in the next lecture, we are going to cover about the Mughal dynasty. Okay, till then, thank you. But make sure that you revise all the points which we have discussed in this lecture so that you will be able to learn the things in the next lecture in the proper manner. Okay, till then, thank you.